Hey, what's up everyone, Rage Golden Eagle here, having way too much fun as always, and this video will serve as both a quick update and a correction regarding the Sony censorship situation. First, the correction. I have to admit I was wrong on one point I made in last week's video where I said it was Sony's US and EU branches specifically that were censoring Senran Kagura. And the reason I said this was because only the US and EU versions of the game had been censored. But now some new information has come to light and it appears that this is a global Sony policy, as evidenced by these screenshots of a Japanese game available only in Japan at the moment. And I will be linking everything in the description box below so you could see the entire thing, but right here in this video I'm only going to be showing you the censored PS4 screenshots. Every once in a while they have some PC ones that show nipples, so obviously I can't show that here because YouTube being YouTube and all that. But even the Switch and Vita versions may be a little bit too much for YouTube to be able to handle. So right here, first one. Yeah, it's kinda ridiculous, isn't it? This is just a regular panty shot and where the nipples would have been has already been censored by some light flare. There was literally no reason to add any more. But this isn't the worst one yet, check this one out. Can you even see what the hell is going on in this picture anymore? Holy shit, as someone over on my Twitter feed pointed out, this is censorship on the level that makes Terraformars from back in the day look like nothing. And that one was hilariously bad, but nothing compared to this. Oh, and here's another example. Right here, PS4 version, full lens flare covering pretty much everything. Meanwhile, the Vita and the Switch version actually had the nipples already covered up by the towel and the hair. You can see a little bit of nipples on the PC version though. And one pattern you should be able to tell from all these screenshots is how lazy the censorship is. Because as I went over in my previous video, Sony seems to have made it a policy to try to screw over these small niche developers by telling them they're gonna censor after they're already done with pretty much everything. This screenshot right here in particular, the PC version you can see a little bit of the nipples. Meanwhile, on the Vita and Switch versions, they did the little bit more effort censorship, just expanding the towel and the hair a bit. And this PS4 censorship, it was just a last second, let's just fuck it up. Thank you, Sony. So yeah, they are being censored even in Japan right now. And I know you guys may be asking, why is this? Isn't Japan supposed to be immune from this shit? Well, it turns out there's some news that kind of flew under the radar a few years back, but 2 years ago, Sony moved their PlayStation division headquarters from Tokyo to California. That's right, California is where all the PlayStation-related shots are being called right now, globally. And here's the proof. Here's the article from January of 2016. Sony moves PlayStation headquarters to California. In the very first paragraph, pretty telling. Sony Corp said Tuesday that it will move the headquarters of its PlayStation video game units to California, a move that reflects the industry's view of the US as offering the greatest growth potential. Well, we'll see how long this is gonna last as they keep censoring everything under the sun in order to be in line with puritanical US sensibilities. And I gotta wonder, why aren't the SJWs complaining about this? Or the NPCs as they're called now? Isn't this type of imperialism the thing they should be complaining about? But nah, something tells me they're the ones doing this. So man, knowing the shit show we have here, this really makes me wonder about the future of specifically Senran Kagura on the platform. Though whatever the hell will happen with Sony, thankfully unlike a few years back when only the West got PC releases of Japanese games, the PC is booming in Japan as well, so there will be uncensored versions available should the developers choose to go down that route. I'm still a bit concerned that should they choose not to dump the PlayStation brand entirely for the PC and or Switch, they may just tone down any future ideas they may have for the games. But on the positive side, if they officially removed a feature that's been in the game for years just to appease some new censors, it would not go over well with the fanbase, especially since the fanbase knows they can release uncensored versions elsewhere. Now hopefully they will just stop releasing content on Sony platforms entirely instead of going the censorship route, but on that topic, if you know Japanese or are Japanese, please share this news with everyone you can get to listen to you. It appears most Japanese gamers are still under the mistaken impression that PlayStation is a Japanese console when that is in fact not the case anymore. I gotta wonder how they would react finding out that PlayStation is ran by the US now and they are forcing their backwards ideology onto Japanese products even within the confines of Japan itself. It's time to face the music, guys. The only remaining Japanese console manufacturer is Nintendo. And is it any wonder Japanese developers are jumping over to the Switch in droves now? It's clearly obvious that those that paid attention to the news from 2 years ago and were smart bailed before Sony's censorship got to them. And man, if this shit is any indication of what the future of Sony holds, I hope all the rest of them follow suit. This entire situation is just going from bad to worse as time goes on. Where is the line? Where does this stop? Well, we all know the answer to that. It's gonna stop when Sony goes broke or finally gets their shit together, like Nintendo did a few years ago. And as far as I'm concerned, those are the only two options at this point. Sony, I'm done with you. And that's all I gotta say, guys. Thanks for listening.